All right, Jill. What is your position at Safe and Sound Treatment?
I'm Jill Zakarian, and I am one of the associate clinical social workers um, at Safe and Sound Treatment and currently work as a therapist.
Okay. What initially drew you to work in the addiction and mental health treatment field?
I used to be an educator at the elementary and junior high school level, and I kind of grew passionate about working with the individual as the whole person, really, and began to develop more of an interest in working with adults. And so I went back to the drawing board and went into social work, and then later went in, got my master's in social work at Cal State University Long Beach, and just kind of went a different direction and really wanting to help people make changes in their lives. And as a social worker, helping them find tools to do that. And I easily found a lot of interest and love in that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can you describe your approach to building rapport and trust with clients, particularly when they are resistant to treatment?
I think my primary approach is simply to show clients I'm eager to get to know them as a person and that they matter apart from their substance abuse, that they matter apart from their trauma, that getting to know them and digging deeper and getting to know the real person of who they are and who they are becoming can allow an open door to be there.
All right. What are some of the biggest challenges you encounter when working with individuals in recovery, and how do you overcome them?
I think some of the hugest challenges are negative self view of a client maybe losing hope in what they can overcome or what they can achieve, especially after they've come to us after multiple treatment center trips and episodes that they've experienced. And I think more than anything, helping them reach a place where they can talk about their trauma and realize that their trauma is something to be moved past and beyond is something that I use as a tool to really help clients make that first step.
How do you incorporate cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, into your treatment plans? Can you provide an example of how it has been effective with your client?
Cognitive behavioral therapy, the joy and the beauty in that modality really is helping people reframe their thoughts and reframe their perspectives on themselves. And so it's helping clients really put out how they feel about themselves and then asking them to take that back to the drawing board and try it all again.
Mm.
Try it all again, reframe your thoughts, what you're thinking, teaching them what they're thinking is going to actually change their actions and their perspectives. And I've seen clients come to terms with that and actually give themselves a chance,
Mm.
after they realize they can think differently about themselves or the mistakes or the habits they've formed. Teaching them that there's a different way to see it, there's a different way beyond it.
How do you use dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, with clients? And what specific outcomes have you seen in individuals who participate in DBT? And exactly what is DBT to start with?
Dialectical behavioral therapy is a modality that targets the ability to face really intense emotions and learn to live and make decisions beyond these emotions. Um, so, also, dialectical behavioral therapy has been known to be really effective with borderline personality disorder clients.
Mm.
So, that's something to always kind of clue in. If I see that as a diagnosis, sometimes DBT is good to bring in.
Are there other treatment modalities such as motivational interviewing or acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, that you use with your clients? How do you use these to fit into your approach into treatment?
Another modality that I really focus on and rely heavily on is person centered therapy,
Mm.
which is originated by Carl Rogers. And what that is essentially, it's a humanistic approach, actually, where you're really focusing on creating an environment that is supportive and empathetic for the client and really showing them that they're in a place where they can express themselves and grow in a really non-judgmental atmosphere. That's really the cornerstone of it is that they can be authentically themselves as they are centered at, as that person and they are accepted as that person.
Mm.
So it's a really fostering a very non-judgmental atmosphere and environment for them to step into. And so it brings to light things like self determination, that we're respecting them to make their own decisions and their own, maybe not dictating their own therapy and their own treatment, but that who they are and what they're bringing to the table, what they're bringing forth in that treatment is embraced and accepted as it is. So person-centered therapy is something I've seen really work for people, and really something I focus on heavily in my practice with clients.
How do you assess which therapeutic modality is most appropriate for each client?
Most of all, I use their diagnosis to be a guide because some modalities really fit well with that initial diagnosis that they might be coming in with. Also, I really take to heart that first initial session I have with the client where they're sharing with me what has or has not worked in their past and a little bit about the treatment centers that they've been to and what they've been exposed to in those experiences.
Can you share a success story where a specific treatment modality led to a significant breakthrough for a client? Has anything come through a certain scenario?
I dealt with a client who had a history of parental challenges, um, a lot of failed relationships, and struggling with years of substance abuse that was hard to shake and hard to move past. And I really allowed that person centered therapy to delve into my sessions with that individual client. He's now moved past, he's over a year sober and clean. He's working in treatment successfully and has really moved forward with his life. And one other aspect, too, that our sessions focused on was repairing relationships with his family, which he's been able to do. He's close with his family today. He has an active relationship with them, and they know him in sobriety.
What is your approach to treating clients with co occurring disorders, dual diagnosis? How do you integrate therapy techniques to address both mental health and substance use disorders?
The first approach, I think, is really important to help clients see that they can have success beyond their mental health symptoms, beyond their mental health thought processes that they struggle with and have dealt with for a long time. But one of the most important things with substance abuse clients is helping them see that removing the substances will then allow them to focus healthily on their mental health issues and be able to not mask them just by using drugs, but actually resolve them to an effective level where they can live without the substance and deal and set aside the symptom of the mental illness. But really
Mm.
teaching them that behavior of drug use and alcohol use in their life is just masking the mental health that can actually be resolved, that can actually be treated, that can actually be learned to live with,
Mm.
and kind of empowering them in that way.
Because a lot of them think that that just may be just how they are thinking and that is forever how they are.
Right, and forever how they're left to face life.
Yeah, I'm never going to change. This is
Right,
just how it
it's
is.
never gonna feel different.
And so you can expose them through that through therapy and start to show them their progress, right? Like, hey, look, when you
Exactly.
came in, you were thinking this way, but now look how much growth you've had. You're changing.
Right, helping them see that they're making progress along the way and that removing the substance is allowing them that freedom in their life to face it for the first time, maybe than they ever have, and to get that misconception that the
Mm.
drug is going to make it better.
And this new feeling that comes through is it's unfamiliar. They're like,
Hmm.
wow, I feel life again. I'm not used to this.
Right, they feel for themselves their own
Yeah,
honest, authentic emotions. Exactly.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All right. How do you stay updated on the latest research and advancements in therapeutic techniques, such as we discussed CBT, DBT, and other evidence-based treatments? So, how do you stay up to research on that?
I
The
try
par.
to attend trainings in the area in person most of all. I also am a member of NASW, which is the National Association of Social Workers.
Hmm.
And in my email, I constantly have different newsletters or articles being sent to me that I try and invest in and learn from a little bit too. Also, collaborating with my supervisor, who is an LMFT in the field and is our clinical director actively she has a lot of wisdom of experience, and I spend time with her and try and glean what I can from her practice.
Hmm. I do the same thing. Get
Yeah.
close to the knowledge too.
Yes, exactly.
All right. How do you incorporate a spiritual or holistic approach into therapy? And how does it complement the use of evidence-based therapies, like you said, CBT and DBT, etc.?
I definitely try and keep my office experience very spiritually based and very holistic. I try
Mm,
and have things on the walls and shelves that maybe say encouraging messages, something positive to read in between those moments that we're talking. I like to have a lamp on and dim the lights so that it's not fluorescent lighting really bright and sharp, and I try and have a candle on to kind of create ambiance and peace and joy and tranquility. So I really work hard, just to try and create a whole environment that's comfortable and cozy and honest and open and safe
yeah.
for them to feel like they're in a space where they can talk and
Oh,
open
environment. That's
themselves.
huge.
Yeah.
Yes. You said it with the lights,
Yes.
you know? Yeah, with the lights and the mood and the setting, absolutely makes someone comfortable. Love that. All right. How do you involve families in the treatment process? Do you offer any family therapy or education about treatment modalities?
It's safe and sound we largely paramount the client first until they may reach a point where pulling in a family member or a significant other may be beneficial. And I definitely do family and group therapy at times in their treatment with us.
Hmm. Do you find bringing in the family is beneficial at some point, or how do you know when to bring a family member in as it may be triggering, or how do you know when to bring a family member in?
One specific place could be when they're really trying to amend a relationship
Mm,
or rectify some of the unhealthy habits that the relationship had while in use and in substance abuse deep, and kind of allowing that relationship to be rebirthed
mm,
in sobriety for them, and kind of helping that relationship talk through what was holding them back, and also allowing that family member or that significant other to get to know the client
mm.
sober is also an important step. To do it in a safe, supported environment is important.
Wow. Getting to know their loved one sober.
Yeah,
Like, wow,
exactly.
who is this?
Exactly. It's a
Wow.
whole new relationship.
Because I've known about you guys for a long time and I just admire what you guys do. And
Oh, thank
I
you.
bet seeing the family come together after all the work that they put in, that you've put in as well, watching the family come together has to be just amazing. Have
Yes.
you seen any experiences? Have you had any experiences where you've watched that all happen in front of you?
I have. We had a client whose parents came actually out of state here to California to meet with us here in person with them. And we had already been doing some phone sessions over the phone, to kind of communicate beforehand,
Mm,
but it really took a different turn when they were here in person with us and they could see the growth that the client had already made, that maybe they were aware of in some small ways, but it was even more significant. And that family, um, they were able to be a part of that person's recovery. And I think that was the best thing for the client, is they weren't just wanting to know, how are you, what can we do? We were helping them know how they could be active and help. And that allowed the family to heal even more when they could be told tools or steps or decisions they could work through as a family.
and that was the next question. I was going to ask you what advice you give to families who want to better understand and support their loved ones during the recovery process. So you said Al Anon. Is there anything else that you would suggest? Anything to
I
read,
think
watch?
also, the families need to really understand that their client, their family member, their loved one has to develop an understanding of wanting it for themselves.
Mm,
Sometimes that's really hard for families to step back and wait or expect or encourage or put out that permission for the individual to want it for themselves first. The family can come in and wrap around and support, but that individual has to see a glimmer of hope for themselves. I think that's one of the things we really try and help families realize, and why we focus so much on the client first.
mm. All right. Now, if you have someone out there that is watching this video that is currently struggling, what advice would you give them?
I would encourage an individual to find a center that you feel aligns with your own personal goals for yourself and your beliefs. And at Safe and Sound Treatment, you will be made first and foremost the priority, and you will be in a place that you're a family. You are part of a family. Our approach is a family approach across the board where people can feel safe, people can feel supported, people can also feel that they're making the first step to changing their lives.
All right, so say some alumni that are watching this. What would you like to say to the ones that have graduated, that are doing really good, the ones that are coming to your mind probably right now? What would you like to say to those that are doing really good?
I would love for them to know they make every minute, every day worth it just to get up, come here, and meet with clients every day. And we love celebrating alongside you, and we're proud of you, and we're always here for you. That's something I always try and emphasize as they come close to leaving the center or treatment here at Safe and Sound, is that we really are here always. And we do have clients that come back to us and find success in sobriety once again for themselves.
Mm.
And we welcome that.
If you could sum up Safe and Sound Treatment into one little short burst, what would you say about Safe and Sound Treatment?
Safe and Sound Treatment is a treatment facility focused on changing your life for the better and for the good, and also allowing yourself not just to rectify one small area of your life, but everything. It compromises every facet of yourself. You're going to get to grow and stretch and develop for yourself the kind of life you'd like to see. And it's a place where you can feel at home for sure. And we welcome it, and we love helping people. We love welcoming new people in, and we're dedicated to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you. Glad to be here and glad to be at Safe and Sound.